Guys, it is Thursday, which means I need to put recycling out. In case you guys are wondering, when is Eric's recycling day? It's actually on Wednesday, but with the holiday, it's always bumped a day. If the holiday falls on Monday, it is bumped a day. So Labor Day, Memorial Day, that kind of stuff. I'm bringing up my live stream. Ash is here. Ash says, "Hey, Yogi." Hey, Ash, how are you? And I'm going to look something up. Ash says she's good. And me, I'm good too. Off to a slow start. I'm looking up a quote. If I can find it. Ash says, I'm the first viewer. You are the first viewer. You might be the only viewer. I never know. Kyle Gothard's here. Kyle's here. Says, hey. And Dino. It's me, Godzilla Omega. But I changed it to my gamer tag. Dino. Well, welcome, Dino. Godzilla. You'll always be Godzilla. Ash says, hey to Kyle and to Dino. So we'll see if anyone else shows up. Lazy editor. Hello, my friend. How are you? Got the whole family in here. So we're taking it slow, seeing who shows up, talking about whatever. Hope you guys are having a good day. Dino says, yeah, I got like 4 identities. As long as you make good use of them. I'm just looking around online. I was looking for a quote, which I found. I'm going to read it later, though. I want to see who we have that might be live. People to support. My good friend Goga. Goga is a fellow yogi. He's got a really good channel. Hope everyone checks him out. He's in Africa, but I don't know exactly where. I don't remember. And right now he's talking about, he does a lot of talks. Doesn't just talk about yoga. He is, I'm pretty boring. I mainly talk about yoga and stuff. This is what happened to Alisa. Alisa got excuse me, guys. When she was at 5,000 That's Goga. Subscribers as well. He likes to help you out. Right now he's talking about YouTube live screen cast, which I don't know what that is. Ash says, hold on, let me find a good quote. Editor says, my sanity be like, what's going on with the sanity? Sanity says, oh, I'm sorry. Lay's editor said, I'm fine, and you? I'm good too. Let's see. Nat says, you're not boring, you're entertaining. At times. At times. A lot of times, I'm just boring. But you know what? Sometimes there's a reason for being repetitious. Squirrel Sniper is here. Hey, Squirrel Sniper. Sniper says, greetings again, Eric and chat. Ash says, found one. Life is 10% what you do and 90% how you react to it. That's a good quote. You know who said that? That is absolutely true. We might even say, man, we could go all the way up to 100% how we react to it. Destiny is here. Blessings and love, my friend. How are you today? Just a yogi. Destiny, I'm doing good. How are you? You've been on my mind, my friend. Ash says, my mother. Wise woman. Let's see. We got a Hi to Squirrel Sniper from Dino. Dino / Godzilla. The Godzilla. Destiny says, doing great, Eric. I'm glad to hear that. My cat is here saying hi to everyone. So, I've been familiar with the work of Brian Cady. Her actual name is Katie Bryan, but for whatever reason, I don't know why, she goes by Brian Cady. I think that's true. I've been familiar with her work for quite some time. And Squirrel Sniper says, I'll be back on later. Just smash the like. I appreciate that. Smash the thumbs up. She is what's referred to as a natural Buddha, meaning not a Buddhist, but a Buddha. She came about it the hard way. Let's see. Godzilla says, Yogi, I got news. I'll get like 25 different mini Godzilla figs. Nice. That is a lot. Destiny says, Little Squirrel Sniper. Ash says, another one I thought of, we're not friends, we're not enemies, just strangers with good memories. Nice. It even rhymes. Is that another one from your mom? Sounds like that could be a song. So a natural Buddha is someone who comes about their awakening through life, through suffering. Life can be difficult. Unfortunately, however, everything grows through friction. Difficulties serve a point. They make us stronger. They make us better adjusted. More importantly, in my opinion, they break us open. They make us more empathetic. If I'm experiencing this pain, someone else must be too. Something similar. Something as deep and as profound as mine. Now we've discovered empathy. Destiny says, Buddha versus Buddhist. Eric, explain the difference. Well, the Buddha wasn't a Buddhist. He was actually a yogi. He was a prince, Hindu prince, who left his father's kingdom at the age of, I believe, 33, because he was exposed to suffering for the first time. When he was born, a sage said, your son is either going to be a great and wise king, or He is going to be a wandering monk bringing peace to the world, helping to end suffering. And of course, his father, selfishly so, but fathers want what they think is best for the son. He wanted his son to inherit his kingdom. Thought he'd be a great king. So he figured if he kept him away from seeing suffering, then he would never want to help people in their suffering because he wouldn't know anything about it. So he had everything hidden. He kept his son away from everyone. His son's name was Siddhartha. But one day he came across a funeral pyre. Someone had died. And he asked, and his charioteer told him, someone died. That's why you see people suffering. So that was the first exposure the Buddha had, Siddhartha, to suffering. And he saw several more in the following days. And he got curious and he wondered why. And he wondered why, if this is happening to these people, is it going to happen to him? Which of course it does. Let's see. Destiny says, is Buddha's name and is Buddhist type of religion ritual? Excellent question. The Buddha is a title, just like Christ is a title. Christ is an energy. Christ is a state of consciousness. Buddha means awakened one. When Buddha was asked, who are you? Are you a god? And the Buddha said, no. They said, are you a saint? And he said, no. And they kept asking, who are you? What are you? Finally, he said, I am awakened. Awakened. He saw life. He saw the suffering of life. Hey, Joe. And he awakened to not only the cause of suffering, but the way out of suffering. And Buddha means the awakened one. But he wasn't the only Buddha. He declared we were all Buddhas. A Buddhist is someone who follows the Eightfold Path of Buddhism. And that is someone that is much the same as following the teachings of Jesus. The big difference to me is the Buddha laid out those 8 principles. Follow this and you will reduce suffering in your life. Suffering being optional. That doesn't mean grief is optional. It doesn't mean sorrow is optional. It doesn't mean anger, pain, whatever is optional. It means suffering, which is different than all of those. Suffering is when we are grieving and we say, when is it going to end? When is this ever going to end? Why is this happening to me? Why is it happening now? Asking those why questions. Because grief happens, and it's happening now, and it lasts however long it lasts. We don't need to add the suffering to it of trying to force it to be anything different. There's always well-meaning people who say, well, get over it, or it'll pass, or let me cheer you up. We don't need to be cheered up. We just need company. We need someone to lend us an open heart so we can rest. That would be the path of Buddhism. Christianity is a beautiful religion, but to me, it always lacked the practice. When you go to church, are you told, follow these steps, follow these 8 steps to be a follower of Jesus? Of course, we have the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus literally says, this is what you have to do, but we seem to ignore it. Let's see. Destiny says, Buddhist is a title. Well, Buddha is a title, and those who follow Buddha are Buddhist. Destiny says, so in love to you, Joe Delaney. Sabine is here. Hello, Sabine. How are you? Destiny says, thank you, Eric, for your explanation. I'm trying to understand this, and I see it in a broader light. My quote is more up in the chat. Oh, sorry, Ash. Don't give up because of a bad day. Forgive yourself and do better tomorrow. My mother. Beautiful quote from your mom. And she's absolutely right. Forgiving is key. Forgiving is, someone were to say to me, what's your main message on YouTube? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Is it breath work? I love all those. I talk about all those. But I honestly think my main message is forgiveness. The hows and the whys of forgiveness. A valuable practice. The entirety of Christianity is summed up in Jesus forgiving from the cross. Thank you for reminding. I wanted to get back to your quote and I didn't make it. So thank you, Ash. Ash says hi to Sabine. So eventually, the Buddha left his kingdom behind and he wandered with yogis and monks and mystics, but he never found the answer that he wanted. So he sat under the Budai tree, which is a tree in India, and he said, I'm going to sit under this tree until I am awakened, until I am enlightened. And he sat and he sat. I don't remember how many days, legend has it. And Mara, the demon of illusion, threw all kinds of stuff at him, but he refused to move. Finally, he woke up, not just physically, he woke up spiritually, and he saw that life is what he called dukkha, which means transitory, and that we suffer because we cling to the transitory nature of things. We're seeking permanence in that which can never be permanent. And he outlined a path to escape suffering, which is also the path of yoga. It's also the path of Christianity. Jesus outlines the entirety in Sermon of the Mount and the Beatitudes. If you want a life of Christ consciousness, if you want to follow the teachings of Jesus, here they are. And then, of course, when he was asked, what are the greatest commandments? And he said, what was it? One God above all other gods? I don't remember that. And love others as you love yourself. I think I got that wrong. We'll look it up. Destiny, who is much more familiar, might know that offhand. Speed says, hi to Squirrel Sniper. Ash says, little Bible quote, because why not? The Lord makes all things beautiful in his time. I like it. And I'm always up. I am always up for biblical quotes. I'm up for any quote that has meaning for you. So, hey, feel free to share them. Destiny says, I remember hearing that story, Eric. Thank you for sharing. Sitting under the tree began to bring it all about to me. And you know what? The amazing thing? We can all sit under our own Budai tree. And anything can be that tree. We can stay with the breath until we awaken. We can stay with a mantra until we awaken. We can stay with our own suffering until we awaken. Ash says, I'm the master of quotes. Always feel free to share them, my friend. So I started talking about all of this because of Brian Katie, who, again, is considered a natural Buddha, meaning she didn't study Buddhism. She didn't study any spirituality. But she had an incredibly difficult life. She had a complete mental breakdown. And through her suffering, she came to realize that she didn't have to suffer any longer. And she woke up. She became a Buddha. We all have that potential. And something I read about her today, or read from her today, and I'll read it real quick. Notice when you hurt, when you're psychologically hurting, that you are mentally out of your business. So succinct. You're mentally out of your business. And what she means is there are only 3 kinds of businesses in the entire universe. Only 3 kinds of business. Mine, my business. Your business. And God's business. And we suffer when we are mentally out of our business. So the example she uses, whose business is it if an earthquake might happen? If we're scared of an earthquake. if we're scared of a tornado. I'm not saying it's happening now, but it might. We start thinking, I wonder if this might happen. I wonder if that might happen. Whose business is that? That's God's business. Whose business is it if your neighbor down the street has an ugly lawn? That's your neighbor's business. However, whose business is it if I'm angry at my neighbor for having an ugly lawn? That's my business. My anger, my business, which means I can heal that. My neighbor doesn't even have to mow his lawn. I can heal my anger on my own. I don't need any participation from that. As well, I can trust that God's going to take care of his business. I don't need to concern myself with that. That doesn't mean if a tornado's happening that I don't go down in the basement. I certainly do. But it means if it's not happening, it's not my business. I don't need to be concerned about it. I don't need to be scared about it. When her point is life is simple. It's eternal. Our thoughts, our perception of the world bases the life that we live, is the basis of the life that we live. So her suggestion, and then I'll jump back in the chat. Apologize, guys. Count in 5 minutes, 5-minute intervals, how many times you are in someone else's business mentally. Notice when you give uninvited advice or you offer your opinion about something aloud or silently. Ask yourself, am I in their business? Did they ask me for advice? And more importantly, can I take the advice I am offering and apply it to my life? I'm a big fan of Katie Bryan. All right. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up. Destiny says, happy Wednesday, and how are you to Optimob? Hey, speaking of our friend Optimob, 164 watch hours left before it's a fully monetized channel. That's a big deal. And he also has 5 days being held. YouTube does that. So he's probably already there. Ash says, being positive isn't pretending that everything is good. It's seeing the good in everything. Excellent advice. Your parents are such positive people. Optimob says, here's something serious. What sorry guys, just give me a moment. I'm checking a YouTube short that Optimob sent me, that Timo sent me, and it is very serious. Hey, Timo, send me an email, and we can talk about it over email. As I mean, it's there for people to see. You know, with the link that you posted. I don't know why he would do such a thing. Sorry, my friend. Desi says, blessings and love to you. Odom, how are you? Timo says, yes, I do. William is here. William, my friend Bill, how are you? William says, Yogi and everyone in the chat. Hello, hello. Ash says, sometimes you never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Dr. Seuss. I love Dr. Seuss. Very, very wise man. Timo says, see you later. If you get the opportunity, please send me an email. William says, I'm doing well. Good, glad to hear it. Ash says, not me, spamming quotes. Not spamming at all. Hey, you're sharing positivity. It's much appreciated. Ash says, anyway, I'm going to brainstorm some more. So, hey, Ash, here's a challenge for you. You can keep sharing positive quotes that you love. Let's hear a quote from you. If you were going to offer a quote to someone, what would it be? William says, Timo leaves when I get here. Don't take it personally. I'm sure it has nothing to do with, I don't know, body odor, bad breath. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that at all. Let's see. William says, it's not where he lives. I get it. Yeah, amazing how many different time zones we have in one conversation. So what strikes me, some of the things we were talking about, Buddhism, yoga, Christianity. Ash says, quote, I'd give someone, let me think. Take your time. A lot of people come to a spiritual path based on their own suffering, which is good because that's the way to alleviate your suffering. But at the same time, once we find that we can alleviate our own suffering, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility for alleviating the suffering of other people as well. This is why in Sanskrit, seva, S-E-V-A, living a life of selfless service, which is also called karma yoga. Karma yoga is serving other people without seeking benefit towards your own. And you give the results, you give the benefit up to God or the universe, whatever, or love, whatever expression that you like best. Odom says, true strength is found not in the moment, in moments we stand tall, but in the times that we rise after every fall. Beautiful, Odom. Who said that? Is that yours? And from conversations with Odom, he's lived that. He's lived that wisdom. Destiny says, that's the good thing about life. It's choice driven, and we get to choose our path and write our own story. Absolutely. Beautifully said, Destiny. So he says, Timo is just contacting YouTube about it. Good. Because that's ridiculous. Please keep me posted. Wife says, so how you doing, Yogi and everyone? I'm doing good, Bill. Trying to figure out an issue. I mentioned to you that I needed to get insurance, which I got. So I went to re-register my car. I found out that I can't re-register it, that I need to register it as if I just bought it, even though I've had it for years, because it's finally in my name. So I got insurance, but because the tags are expired, I can't drive to get a safety inspection. I'm caught in that catch-22. So I got to figure out what's going on. Let's see. Optimob says, Bill, Paradox called me a pedo, and I have to report this to YouTube. And I have to make screenshots for my lawyer. Odom says, hello to William Downey. And we get our quote from Ash. She says, never ignore someone who cares about you one day, because one day you will realize that you lost your diamonds while you were busy collecting stones. That is an original quote. I hope you write that down. Original quote from Ash. Beautiful and meaningful. Definitely words to take to heart. Speed says, William Downey, hi. We are just shocked. Williams said they should be able to give you a 3-day temp to get that done. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Bill. So I'm going to call either after the live stream or tomorrow morning. I'll call DMV and get that 3-day temp. Hopefully not expensive. Hopefully it passes the safety inspection. I gotta get a jump started because I was lazy and I didn't start my car. It was a new battery. I didn't think I had to. Goes to show. I'm no good with anything technical, anything machine. I should not even be allowed to own a blender. Timo says to Bill to check that. Ash says, any more quote requests? I'm having fun brainstorming these quotes. Keep them coming. Share to your heart's content, my friend. You can find them from all different traditions. Christianity, Buddhism, yoga. I'll give you one of my favorite quotes from Mark Twain, an all-time favorite, and it is on the subject that I talk most about, or I find myself talking most about, is forgiveness is the fragrance released from the violet upon the heel that has crushed it. I think it was shed. Forgiveness is the fragrance shed by the violet upon the heel that has crushed it. Meaning that when we're completely ourselves, forgiveness is the natural reaction. But when we are caught up in our own mind stuff, we find that it's not easy. Odom says, Yogi, that's just a way to get you to pay more money, sales tax. Unfortunately, yeah. I wish there was a way to avoid the whole thing. I'm tempted to sell the car. I don't drive often. If I need to go somewhere far, I always go with Mocha. William says, oh, the same Lodax who started a few weeks back. Yeah, unfortunately so. For a young man who is a very devout Christian, he certainly finds himself in a lot of messes. Ash says, laughing, thought you'd never ask. Now I'm gonna brainstorm thousands of quotes. Hey, you know what? The channel, more than anything, I want it to be positive pace, positive place where people from all different thoughts, belief systems, faiths can get together and share and not be concerned that someone's going to say, nope, you're wrong. Nope, that's not the way things should be. If it works for you, if it's improved your life, if it's helped your life, if you've used it to help other people, I want to hear about it. Ash says, that's a good quote. Hold up. Odom says, letting go of negative energy frees your spirit and opens your heart to the struggle others may silently face. You never know when someone is going through. Choose kindness always. Beautiful. Choose kindness always. Man, if I had a motto, which I don't, but if I did, that would be it. Course in Miracles says, given a choice, and Destiny will like this part, given a choice, and you always have a choice. Choose to be kind over choosing to be right. If you're right, you know you're right, and you don't need to make an issue of it. You can just walk away knowing that you're right. But you can never be so right that you make someone feel better by being unkind. If you're right, you don't need to be unkind about it. Love that quote, Odom. Timo says, well, I'm down to yes, exactly that. William says, that's too bad. Hit the hide button. I have personally never banned anyone from my channel, and I've actually lost a couple friends recently by refusing to ban people, because I thought, for one, if there's really an intent to come back, people just keep coming back under different usernames. And as Bill said, you hit the hide button, so you don't need to even concern yourself with them. However, I would be tempted to, in this circumstance, because it's a egregious claim against our friend Optimum, done out of my thoughts, done out of spite. Timo says, I reported it and have to go to a lawyer. Ash says, you don't have to be positive or feel happy all the time. You are human, not a robot. Me. Nice. Ash is a very wise person. And that's absolutely true. That could have come from, with the exception of robot, because they didn't have robots back then, that quote could have come from the Buddha himself. Be what you are, right here, right now, because it'll change. Odom says, I'm already smiling as I read this. What about this, Yogi, for a motto? Finding peace in the grind, one breath and burpee at a time. Man, that is perfect. One breath. Matter of fact, let me copy and then paste that. Give me 1 second. And let me attribute that quote. And I got it saved. Finding peace in the grind. You guys know what the grind is? It's doing that hard stuff. Doing the hard stuff that you might not want to do, but you know you benefit from it. Grind can be doing your homework. Grind can be doing burpees. Grind can be doing push-ups, or sometimes just showing up when we don't want to at all. One breath and burpee at a time. Sir Odom. Thank you for that, Odom. Let's see. Destiny says, very empowering and encouraging words. Odom Homestead, thank you for sharing. Some of my all-time favorite meaningful talks have been with Odom and Destiny here. I always think of the conversation we had where we shared Psalms, with you guys knowing so many more than I, but all of them were beautiful. My favorite still being be still and know that I am. Bill says, good luck, Optimob, and let me know what happens. Hate to see anyone go through this, especially when it's also unnecessary. Someone has hurt feelings over a situation that they got themselves into, that, not to get overly involved in the live stream, uh, a premier was ruined, and Optimab rightly called him out and said, you hurt a lot of people with your actions. And then he forgave him, but did not want him back in his premieres or his live streams, understandably so. And was always friendly here, but this other person was hurt, and he took it to extremes in a way of lashing out. And now someone else could be hurt from the situation. It's the thing with hurt feelings. There are hurt feelings. They're not about the other person. Deal with them. Deal with those hurt feelings. Don't use them to hurt someone else, because now you've just created a world of hurt. Literally. You took your own hurt, you projected it outwards, and now you wish other people to experience pain. Timo says to Bill, thank you. Odin says, my pleasure, Destiny. William says to Optimab, send me an email, buddy. My email is on my page. William says, I did 10 burpees this morning, Yogs. You know the old saying, if it's not on live stream, it didn't happen. All right, that's not an old saying. It's a current saying. 10 burpees. Here's another old saying. 10 burpees a day will keep Burpee Reaper from calling you out and saying, you better do your burpees. There's an original quote, by the way. So let me try this one more time. Bill, awesome. 10 burpees. Hey, Bill, how much do you weigh? Because, man, doing burpees, bigger people, is not an easy thing. If you look around the burpee community, most people, not everyone, of course, most people, smaller builds. Ash says, reading gives us someplace to go because we have to stay where we are. I like that one. I like all of them. I like that one because I love reading. Timo says, Swim Downey, thank you. And that he has a mill. Nice. Destiny says, blessings and love to all. Everyone enjoy your day and keep inspiring one another with positive words, love, and kindness. Thank you, Eric M., for sharing your chat and for being a true friend to all of us. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you for those words. And those are apt words because they could apply to all of us. They could apply to our friend Destiny as well. She is indeed an extremely positive and kind person and has been since the moment we became friends. One of the best things that ever happened to me on YouTube, becoming friends with her. Ash says, quote I said above is something I love. That's probably my favorite. I like them all, but that's probably my favorite because I absolutely love reading. William says, hard on my shoulders. Bill is 217. Yeah, so it's going to be harder for you to do a burpee. I'm 5'9", maybe just shy of 150. One burpee from you is probably the equivalent of 3 from me. Let's see. Ash says self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely, Ash. Well said. Good mother freaking morning, YouTube family. Hope everyone is doing amazing. Hey, Reaper. Today's a big day. William Downey did 10 burpees this morning. Reaper says, working, but got a minute. We get a lot of exclamation points after that what? I don't want to say that Reaper's incredulous. I mainly don't want to say it because I wasn't sure I could say it. I wasn't sure I could pronounce it. William says, great, guess what I wanted to hear? I'm a fat ass, say it. Not at all. What I was going to say was having so much muscle means it's harder, more difficult, that you do 3 times the work of someone like me. That's what I was trying to say. We get some laughing emojis, which is just going to get me in more trouble. I was saying Reaper because Bill's 217. He just told me. I knew he was over 200. And I said, for someone who's 217, his one burpee is like the equivalent of 3 for me because he's got to do more weight. Plus, he's got more hair. He's not as aerodynamic as I am. He's not as aerodynamic as you and I, Reaper. Bill says, burps, it hurts me. 10 was hard. They get easier every day. Reaper, an excellent suggestion from Reaper. Got to shave the head. It'll be easier. If you shave your head tonight, you'll get 11 reps tomorrow. I guarantee you. Ash says, I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. Direct quote from Ash. And I believe that 100%. My life has literally been changed picking up a book. And I can think of the exact time, the exact book when that happened. Several times. Reaper says, well, you got to start somewhere, right? I believe you got to start. I got to stop glancing at the comments that come before the one that I'm reading. This is the second day in a row that Bill has got me completely by surprise, calling me out on my AOL. I started to read Reaper's comment, and I caught sight of Bill's comment right after. More hair, and I don't have AOL. Absolutely. I have explained my AOL. Reaper said, well, you got to start somewhere, right? My suggestion, before you even do a burpee, shave your head. You got to get yourself in that mindset. I'm a burpee machine. I'm a burpee warrior. So that's the first start. The second step, you got to switch your email to AOL so you can announce to all your friends, I've just shaved my head and I'm getting ready to do 10 burpees. That's the plan. That's how you do it. That's how I got started. I got a confession. I'm not actually bald. I can grow all my hair back really quickly in the space of a day. However, it would slow my burpees down considerably. So I keep my head shaved for the sake of doing burpees. Small sacrifice that I'm willing to make. If no one believes me, I will send a photo of me with a full head of hair, but only if you have an AOL email address. Those are the terms, guys. Once more, William Downey got me laughing out loud on camera. Something very few people have ever done. Mocha complained for years, how come you never smile in any photo? Reaper says, start small, Mr. Williams, but if the holiday season is coming, it's going to affect your diet. Just wait. Ash says, I'm about to change your life with my thousands of quotes. And that could be another quote about quotes from our quoting friend Ash. Hey, you know, when you put out positive thoughts, when you put out quality vibrations, when you share kindness, inspiration, it has a widening effect. People read it, they feel better, and they spread that message. So you're doing great work, Ash. William says, just my shoulders burps. We get MF Dredson laughing. Dredson, how are you? Reaper says to Bill, get a deep tissue massage. Bill says, love you guys. We get outright laughter from Mr. Dredson. Just spat out some of his drink out. All that was inspired by Bill Downey. Ash says, there are bits and pieces of you scattered in every book you read. Wow, that was nice. You know, I copied and pasted a quote from Odom. And I'm going to add that quote. Things I want to save. By the way, this is a quote from Odom as a motto for me. Finding peace in the grind, one breath and one burpee at a time. Odom. Beautifully said. Let's see. William says, I need shoulder surgery. I don't want to end up in worse shape. You know what? I remember you mentioning that in one of your, I don't remember if it was a workout short or workout video. We talked about on your bench, shortening the range of motion to help with your shoulder. Rupert says, oh, well, can't make out that last part. William, surgery? Yep. Then I'd stop now. Yeah, I would agree. I'd agree with Reaper. William says, yeah, but I like it. Burps. Maybe start out less than 10. 5 every other day. And then after a few weeks, add another. Reaper says, so if no surgery, you gonna just deal with the pain? I probably needed surgery on my left shoulder since the 1990s. Still can be relatively painful time to time. If you look at my burpees, I always get called out. Someone will say, you need to fix your form, which I always take a little bit of exception to. It's not my form, it's my shoulder. Let's see. Reaper says, well, hell, Eric, if he needs surgery, how can he continue? It's a good question. I don't know the extent of surgery that he needs. And maybe he shouldn't. But, I was just thinking in terms of if he likes it, if he's going to do it. Bill says, guys, in all honesty, and this is since I started coming to Yogi's channel, I've become a better person, and it's all because of each and every one of you. Big thanks to you all. That's awesome to hear, Bill. On that same note, you have added, get this out right, you have added immensely to every conversation that you've been part of, not just here, across the spectrum. Reaper says, won't that just get worse? Not necessarily. It depends on what the issue with the shoulder is. So, like for me, I hurt my shoulder benching back in the 1990s. Probably damaged rotator cuff. I couldn't afford surgery. Still can't afford surgery. So I just kept doing the stuff that I wanted. It took me about a year before I could bench again. Oddly, I could do inclines and I could do overhead presses. Little issue. But the bench, had I been smarter, I just would have given up bench. It's an overrated exercise. You can get better benefits, dumbbell benches, but everyone wants a big bench. And as I was training for powerlifting, I thought, I can't give it up. But yeah, you could self-rehab. Of course, there's a difference between rehab and fixing. It's all, it all depends on the extent of what you want to do. But hey, if light benching doesn't hurt, maybe better just to stick with that. Ash says, learn to be done with people, not mad, not bothered, just done. Nicely said. That's similar to what I was saying about 3 types of business in the world. You have God's business, your business, and there's my business. God takes care of his business. Never doubt that. Your business is not my business. I don't need to be involved in the things that you are doing and make them mine. Doesn't mean I'm not concerned. Doesn't mean I don't offer to help. Doesn't mean that, but if I get involved in every detail, and if I get angry that you're not taking my advice, if I get angry that you're doing this, you're doing that, it's because I'm not minding my business, I'm minding your business. Reaper says, Mr. Williams, we love you too. Absolutely. Anyone that makes me laugh out loud on my live stream and just lifts the whole experience up, you gotta love them. Reaper says, maybe it's just a tweak you need, Mr. Williams. With burpee comes elbow pain, shoulder pain, wrist pain, and back pain. You listed it all. We could add occasionally knee pain. I actually get jaw pain because I have a misaligned jaw that has caused some arthritis. So when I'm doing burpees, if I'm not careful, if the jaw hinges in a different direction, there's a lot of pain. That's what I mean when someone says to me, you need to fix your form. And my reply is always, my form is as impeccable as my body allows it to be. If you're 59 with a high mileage body, you got all kinds of tweaks, all kinds of issues, all kinds of things. Just the way it is. Boy says, I do like it, but just don't want to do more damage where I have to leave my job. I could leave, just don't want to yet. Oh, absolutely. Do everything you can to take care of that. Explorer Kenya says, love from Kenya. Love from the United States, my friend. Thank you. Ash says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Ash. Reaper says, Mr. Williams, I retire if I were you already. Pick up another habit, or do you just love that job? Our friend Mr. Poopinator says, fart for me, bro. Little does he know, that's all I've been doing the entire live stream. People have finally begged me to stop. No more. We've had it. I don't even think I have one more left. If I did, man, I'd give it to you. You know that. You're my friend. Sports says, can you hear, bro? I appreciate you stopping by. We've had a couple friends from Kenya in the chat before. Beautiful country. I haven't been there. I've watched videos. I've seen photos. Beautiful people. I've talked to many, and they've always been beautiful. Inside and out. Reaper says, America here, Kenya. Danny says, I can't burp, so it would leave a lot of money on the table. Leo's here. Leo, my friend. Leo says, much love, Brother Yogi. Wishing you a great day and good vibes, sir. Much love, Yogi fam. Stay strong and be safe. Always get a positive message from Leo. Thank you, Leo. Adventure Man. Noble. Miss you all. I'm going live for a 10K. I hope all is well. Everyone, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for that. Noble? Hey, Noble. What time is your live stream? Explorer Kenya says, nice to burp Reaper. I'm bringing up Explorer Kenya's channel. I just subscribed, my friend. And here's a link. Guys, if you're on a desktop, you can connect with our new friend, Explorer Kenya. Reaper says, Legendary Leo. Our friend Austin's here. Austin says, hi, Yogi. Hey, Austin, how are you? Austin says, how you doing today, Yogi? I'm doing good, Austin. Much appreciated. Today, by the way, is Mocha's first day back in school. Photography, well, American Sign Language and photography. I don't know what class she has today, though. Reaper says, I see Mr. Williams. Sorry, guys, fell behind just a bit. Bill says Burst know what Laradox did to Optimob? I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, Optimob just let us all know at the beginning of it. Ash says, don't trust everything you see. Even salt looks like sugar. That's very wise. That is very wise. Reaper says, chilling for a bit. Hope you're having a great day. Reaper says, I kind of do, Mr. Williams. Reaper says, Laradox is a child, unfortunately. And sometime, he might have already turned 16, I'm not sure. But he's a young teenager, which we've seen on display. maturity level wise. Not an excuse. Things we keep in mind. Also says, how are you doing today, William? Explorer Kenya says, nice to hear you know a lot about Kenya. I wouldn't say I know a lot about Kenya, but from my experience with Kenyans has been nothing but wonderful. Just wonderful, beautiful people. Hey, Linda. William says, it bothers me. Yeah, none of us like seeing our friends get hurt like that. I agree, Bill. Austin's waving at Linda. Leo says, work, 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 work. These children take all the energy. Reaper says, me too to William. Linda says hi to Austin. Austin says he's doing good. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome for me asking. Reaper says you're going to turn into Bully with all them kids around. Who's Bully? Broly. Hey, you're back to being noble. Man, just like that, like magic. Noble says, I'm going live now, buddy. Get my shoes on now. Hey, Noble is out for a 10K. Live streaming a 10K. We can be there to support. Noble says, slow burpee Reaper. Reaper says, I can picture it now. Burpees now. Saving all the rage for those 305 bumps later. Explorer Kenya says, thank you so much, friend. Share your email and we can arrange a live stream someday. You're so kind and supportive. You can check out my email in my top of my channel page. There should be a little box. If you can't find it, let me know. Queen Kaylin is here. Hello, my friend. And yep, doing a live stream would be fun. I've never shared one yet. I'm going to with Bill sometime soon. Reaper says, Noble, hey, how you been? William says, hey, America dude. He's out for a 10K soon, guys. Again, I think he did one yesterday. Explorer Kenya says, thank you so much, friend. Oh, I read that. Don't mind reading it again. It would be fun to do a live stream. Reaper says, easy money, Leo. You're going to rock that session. As he always does. All of you guys do. Amazes me and inspires me. Ash says, when life throws you in the rain, play in the puddles. We're getting some excellent advice dropped here, guys. Hey, Ash, I hope you're writing these down. Anti-Greek is here. Says, hey, Yogi, what's up? Not much. Anti-Greek, how are you? Anti-Greek says, I watch the news every day, and I have concluded that there is an alarming increase in violence. I wonder if there is an increase in violence or an increase in the reporting of violence. I'm not saying that that's the case. I just wonder. Because people thrive, the media thrives, and the people who watch it thrive on the negativity. Unfortunately. Also says, my watching hours is 3:34. It'll grow. It'll keep growing. Feel free when you do, if you're going to do a live stream or you got something new, drop the link here. Let us know. People can come and support you. Reaper says, have a great rest of your day, YouTube family. Back to the grind. Thank you for hanging out, Reaper. Much appreciated. And always enjoyed just hanging out with you. Poopinator says to Burpee Reaper, you were beasting at that event. I watched your channel. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Reaper says, Mr. Poop, I appreciate that very much. Wife says, I'm going to run to support Noble. Be back in a little bit. We'll probably wrap things up in just a few minutes. I want to spend some time over at Noble as well. Okay. Okay, Reaper says a Dragon Ball Z character, Eric. Thank you for that. I'm going to have to check that out. Also says hi to Burpee Reaper. And Ash says, it's hard to turn the page when you know someone won't be in the next chapter, but the story must go on. Beautiful. Reminds me of my father. As I felt much the same when my father passed away. So, just a few minutes, I think. We'll wrap it up for the afternoon. Our friend, you'll see him up at the top, Noble Scrolling Traveler, is doing a live stream right now where he is running a 10K. Ash says, oh, wait, that's so sad. It is, and it was. Don't want to talk too much about it. I still get emotional, even just thinking about it. I was with him when he passed away. I was his caregiver. Glad that I was. Glad that I could be there. Glad that I could do everything that I could do. But yeah, it's tough. Answer Greek says yoga aids in emotional distress situations. It does. And the entirety of yoga. The entirety, meaning the breath work, the meditation. My father always insisted that I make time for my yoga practice, that I make time for my meditation, twice a day meditation. He would always say, you know, I'll be okay for 30 minutes, because he knew I was a more effective caregiver when I meditated, when I practiced. Let's see. Ash says, my lips are sealed. I ain't asking questions. Oh, you always feel free to ask. I've talked about it quite a bit. I was caregiver for both my parents. My mom, a long fight with Alzheimer's, about a decade. But I wasn't the main caregiver. My father asked me, as well as my brother, said he did not want my mother to go into any type of home, any type of assisted living. He wanted her here. And he said, if she's comfortable, if we can make her comfortable, if you guys are willing to help me, I want to keep her at home as long as we can keep her safe and happy. And we all said, yes, we're there. And then when it came time for me to be a caregiver for my father, he didn't want to go to assisted living. This was his home. And I said, you won't have to. As long as I am able, I will do. This is my job. This is what I'll do. I am your caregiver. Ash says, don't want to make you emotional, so next quote. That's okay. I'm completely at peace with my emotions, meaning that when I'm sad, I don't ever try to cheer myself up. That'll happen. I'll be happy again. Anna Greek says, your parents must have been wonderful people. They were. They absolutely were. I had a strained relationship with my mother for a lot of time. She loved me. I loved her. We didn't always see eye to eye, and I had this feeling that I probably had disappointed her through my life. When she got Alzheimer's, we had an unspoken understanding that there everything was already forgiven. We didn't have any issues to work out. I was there for her, and she could turn to me no matter what and know that there was nothing but absolute love from my end. And as her memory slipped away, my mom never slipped away. Alzheimer's never robs you of the person. They rob you of that person's memory, which is difficult. But when you can look past that and see that the person is still there, always there, and will never ever leave. And that's what my mom did for me. She was a teacher for 50 years, an extraordinary teacher. So was my dad. Um, that was her final lesson as a teacher to me. She taught me how to let go with grace. Let's see. Explore Kenya says, who were we supporting on his live? Oh, Noble Noble Scrolling Traveler. He is up above. Let me know if this link works. Hey guys, if you're not subscribed to our new friend Explore Kenya, please do. I've enjoyed her company today. There we go. Ash says, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Wise words. Wise and beautiful words. Anna Greek says, always if you love your parents very intensely, it is a big trauma when you lose them. It is. It is. And I had a wonderful relationship with my father to the very, very end. The day he came home from hospice, and I was going to be his hospice care support, which scared me. I didn't let him know I was scared, but I went from being a caregiver to a strong, pretty fit 90, 91-year-old to a critical caregiver, making life and death situations for someone who was suffering from congestive heart failure. And I was in fear. Am I going to make a mistake? Am I going to cause my father suffering? He went to the hospital. He came home. He was going to be in hospice care, and I was going to be the intermediary, one of those words, for my dad and hospice. They would check in every couple of days, more if needed. And I was completely petrified. But again, I didn't want my father to see that or to know that. He passed away that night. I went to bed. He had a button he could press that would bring me down if needed. But I heard him rustling, making noise, very agitated, and I knew he was in pain. So I went downstairs to check on him, see if he needed more pain medicine. And typical of my father, through his entire life, he looked at me and said, "Why are you up? I didn't wake you, did I?" Thinking of me first. Thinking of his family first. And I said, "No, I'm here to see if you need anything." And we chatted for a little bit. And the agitation started again, and he started telling me that he can't do it. He just can't do it. And I kept saying, "What can't you do?" nothing more came out. And he had a bit of a seizure. He shook, passed away. And I held his hand for the night. Consciousness um, withdrawals from the body. If you go by Buddhist, especially Tibetan Buddhism, if you go by yogic philosophy, and even neuroscience shows that consciousness is slow to leave the mind as people are dying, taking hours and hours and hours. And knowing that, I was determined my dad wasn't going to experience any of that alone. I was going to hold his hand. I was going to meditate with him through the night. And I did. Anyway, the reason I'm telling this story is because our friend Anthony Greek says about the trauma when you lose them. One of the traumas for me was not only losing the person that I loved next to Mocha, as much as Mocha, was losing that identity of a caregiver. What do I do now? I gave up my business to be a full-time caregiver, and this was during COVID. I didn't want to start it back up. Maybe I didn't have the energy. So I thought, what does a caregiver do when the person they care most about is no longer there? And the answer was to keep caring, but now broaden it. Now care about everyone to the degree that I'm capable of caring. And I'd like to think that that's an infinite amount. So I got my certification to teach meditation because through 30 years, it brought me to sobriety. It brought me to a happier marriage, as well as navigating my divorce, as well as being able to stay with the person that divorced me, as well as caring for my mom, caring for my dad, financial hardships. Meditation was the tool to help me with all of that. So I wanted to teach it, as well as the breath work and the other yogic practices that have been so meaningful for me. And then I opened that up with YouTube. The entirety of what I do on YouTube is hopefully a legacy for my father. I just want to keep being a caregiver. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Explore Kenya says, I'm so sorry for your loss. I lost my father this year. I loved him, but God took him. Which I'm sorry for your loss as well, my friend. And yes, he's with God, which means he's also with you because God is with you now. Austin drops his link. Thank you for that, Austin. If you guys aren't subscribed to Austin, he just hit 500. He's got 500 plus subscribers. He's shooting for 1,000, and we're helping him with watch hours as well. Ash says, people don't cry because they're weak. It's because they have been strong for too long. Another quote from Ash. Thank you, Ash. And I agree. Absolutely agree. Kayla, my friend. Kayla says, hey, Bill. Big likes and lurking. Appreciate that. Q random virtual hug. Thank you. That's much appreciated. Linda says, Yogi, you're such a sweet soul. Thank you, Linda. I'm doing my best, and I make mistakes. We talked about yesterday with some people the great yogi Ram Dass. Used to be Richard Alpert back in the 60s. In the late 60s, early 70s, he went to India. He met a guru. He came back under the name of Ram Dass. He was a great teacher and a loving person. He was asked later in his life, what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? Why are we here on earth? And everyone expected to hear this very yogic or Buddhist answer. We are here to gain enlightenment and spread it on earth and whatever. And he thought about it, and he looked up and said, "We are here to just walk each other home. We're just walking each other home." When I heard those words, my heart exploded. We're here to walk each other home. So I try, which means, you know what? You don't have to be perfect for me to walk you home. Just got to be you. Let's see. Anna Greek says, "Yes, he is, Linda, hypersensitive. I feel sensitive today. I've been tearing up since we started talking. Don't know why. I'm going to blame it on allergies, guys." Ash says, "Here's a boost of positivity." Woohoo. That helped. That helped considerably. But what's really going to help, guys, is if we could go check out Noble Squirrel and Traveler. He's doing his 10K. Answer Greek says, "Life is a lesson. We are here to become stoic. To become stoics." You know what I love about the Stoics? There's that misconception that they don't show any emotion, that they're not open, when in fact it's the complete opposite. They are stoic enough that they feel what they feel, deeply so, and unafraid to feel it. They are stoic in the face of their emotions. People have that thought that, being a stoic means that you push all your emotions away. That's not strength. Our friend Ash can tell you that. She has a quote about that. Ash says, "When you feel sad, just remember there's a person out there that just pushed the door and it says pull." That did the trick. That did the trick. Unfortunately, in my mind, I thought, man, I'm that person. I am that person that pushed the door that said pull. Virtually every time. You would think at this point in my life, I would know better. Ash gives us a chuckle. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap things up for the afternoon. I'll be back later, late afternoon, early evening, about, 2.5 hours or so. If you guys want, again, you can check out Noble. Let me drop his link one more time. Hope you guys can open it. He's running a 10K on his own. He's doing it on a live stream. Joe says, "Have a good afternoon." Thank you, Joe. Joe Delaney, good friend, wonderful person, hugely inspirational. I hope you guys hook up with her as well. Ash says, "I'm good at cheering people up." And another great live. Ash sneaks it in there before anyone else got the opportunity to do so. Thank you for that, Ash. Another great live is our traditional "It's time to go." We're wrapping it up. So, and yes, you are very good at cheering people up, my friend. With that, if you got the opportunity, come by and check out Noble as well. Make sure to look up above. If there's anyone that you're not connected with, do so. We've got a lot of good people here. With that, thank you guys. I'll see everyone later.